$1,000 a year. The point I'm trying to make is the business is right here in front of us. Opportunity is right where you are, ladies and gentlemen. It is not in some faraway place with those strange sounding names. It is right here. And most people simply overlook it. Let me give you a very simple example of what I'm talking about. If you wear a wristwatch, whether you are in Portland or Salt Lake or Kansas City or wherever you are, if you wear a wristwatch, would you just hold up your hands, please? Now, do not look at your watch. Don't look at it. But did you know that the average American looks at his wristwatch 300 times a day? Oh, I didn't believe it either. They told me that. I said, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard a grown man say. Why? If you looked at your wristwatch 300 times a day, why, all you'd be doing is look at, man, get out. You'd never have time to do any work. Then one day I broke the band on my watch. The next 2 days, that watch was in my pocket. And for the next 2 days, I bet you I looked at that sucker how many of you know exactly what I'm talking about? Ever had that experience? You bet you. You will look at it 300 times a day. Now, sometimes in your spare time, when you've got nothing else to do, I want you to just kind of figure up what 300 times a day for a year is. It will blow your mind the thousands of times you looked at your watch, but I bet you still don't know what's there. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Now, don't try to sneak a peek at your watch now. One more time is not going to hurt, not going to help you a bit. If thousands won't do it, one more is not going to help. I want to ask you 3 questions about your watch. Do not answer them out loud, and please don't turn to your next door neighbor and tell them what the answer is. You're going to get your chance in just a second. Question number 1, does your wristwatch have regular numerals or Roman numerals? How many of you just missed the first one? Can I see your hands? Come on now, be honest with me. All right. Question number 2. Does it have numerals at all? Or are they slashes or dots or blanks or emblems or a combination of all of them? Now, question number 3 is the tough one. And the reason it is so tough is simply because it has 4 parts. And for the benefit of our educators, they are not multiple choice. First part of the question, what's at the 12 o'clock slot? Think it through. What's at the 3 o'clock slot? What's at the 6 o'clock slot? And what's at the 9 o'clock slot? Now that you've thought those answers through, I want you to carefully, as a matter of fact, maybe for the first time since you have owned your watch, I want you to very carefully look at your watch. Now, I can't always interpret murmurs and giggles and all those kind of good things. And I certainly couldn't hear it from Portland and Salt Lake City. I mean, from Portland and Kansas City. But for those of you who are right here, how many of you missed at least one of the questions? Can I see your hand? Boy, about everybody's got their hand up. Now, how many of you remember just a few seconds ago when I said, now I want you to carefully, as a matter of fact, maybe for the first time since you've owned your watch, I want you to very carefully look at your watch. How many of you remember me saying that a few seconds ago? Okay, what time is it? Truth is, ladies and gentlemen, we have eyes to see, but see not. We have ears to hear, but hear not. We have hands to feel, and we feel not. We've got everything there in front of us, opportunity galore, and if we cannot even identify what's on our watch, doesn't it make sense that we need to open our eyes, adjust these magnificent new glasses you're being fitted with, and look around you and see what is there? Yes, this pair of glasses will let you see opportunity. But they do a whole lot more than that. This pair of glasses, ladies and and gentlemen, will give you the proper look at other people. And the reason that is so tremendously important is because we have more happiness or more misery because of relationships than any other single factor. Good relationships bring happiness. Poor relationships bring incredible misery. And the way you look at people is so important because you treat people like you see them. And the way you treat them determines what the relationship is going to be. This pair of glasses will let you see people properly. Andrew Carnegie was the first great industrialist that our society produced. At one time, he had 43 millionaires working for him. This was over 100 years ago. Now, 100 years ago, a millionaire was somebody with money. I mean, they were flat rich. A reporter heard of this phenomenal fact. He went to Mr. Carnegie and he said, "Mr. Carnegie, how on earth did you manage to hire 43 millionaires?" And Andrew Carnegie said, "Well, when I hired them, none of them were millionaires." Then the obvious question comes forth, and that question is, what on earth did you do to develop them to the degree that they became so valuable to you that you were able to pay them enough money that they became millionaires? And Andrew Carnegie taught us one of the most tremendous lessons that you will ever hear when he taught us this. He said, you develop people in precisely the same way you mine gold. When you go in a gold mine to mine the gold, you will move tons of dirt to find an ounce of gold. But you don't go in there looking for the dirt. You go in there looking for the gold. What a tremendous lesson there is in that. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm convinced that you were born to win. But in order to be the winner you were born to be, you got to plan to win, you got to prepare to win, and you got to expect to win. And what